Today we are discussing hydration and why that means more than just your water intake, but also your mineral and electrolyte intake, okay? You may need to be adding minerals to your water. So many of you have heard your body's like 55 to 60% water, and that is true. That means if you weigh 200 pounds, 120 pounds of that is water. If you weigh 130 pounds, 72 pounds of your body weight is water. Bone is 22% water. Fatty tissue is 25% water. Muscle and brain tissue is 75% water. Blood is 83% water, and your eyes are 95% water. Water has such an important role in the body. It helps you dissolve substances and then transport those substances. It helps to start chemical reactions as a catalyst in your body. It helps you lubricate your joints and your connective tissue. It helps to regulate your body temperature, and it also provides minerals. And that's the topic of our discussion today. So your body composition will greatly determine how much water weight you carry around. Again, fatty tissue doesn't have as much water in it as muscle tissue, okay? So when your body composition changes, how much you need day in and day out to regulate all of those bodily functions I talked about earlier may change. So the app actually has a water calculator that's going to estimate and give you a good ballpark figure based on the information that you put in the profile. So we all know that hydration is important, okay? It's important to your overall health and wellness and all of that. So there's no need to really deep dive into why hydration in and of itself is important. But what you may not realize is that hydration isn't just about your water intake. It's about the fluid balance, meaning being hydrated isn't just having enough water. It means also having enough electrolytes, the minerals, sodium, magnesium, and potassium. So as you increase your water intake to the recommended amount, or maybe if you're already drinking the recommended amount of water, you may notice that you're going to the bathroom frequently. If you find yourself going to the bathroom every hour, every 2 hours, this is a really good indication that you're not actually absorbing the water that you're drinking. So consistently and constantly going to the bathroom just means that water is flushing through your system. It's not being absorbed and used by your cells. So one of the best ways to help your body absorb the water, to actually use it for all of those bodily functions, is by adding in minerals. These minerals that help with hydration are specifically called electrolytes. Electrolytes, as the name suggests, carry an electrical charge, whether positive or negative, when it's dissolved in water. So that positive and negative charge helps that water go across the cell membrane and actually go into the cells to be used for all those bodily functions. So there are three main electrolytes in proper hydration. That's potassium, magnesium, and sodium. Okay, yes, there are lots of other minerals out there, iron, calcium, phosphorus, zinc, chloride, all of those things. But the biggest players in hydration are going to be magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So with everything in the body, it's all about balance. So with these electrolytes, it's all about that fluid balance, okay? Making sure what you're using and what you're excreting is balanced with what you're taking in versus out, okay? It's all about that balance. So how do you need to take in electrolytes? The first choice, as always, is with whole food nutrition. So with your diet, you want to make sure you're eating a variety of foods, a variety of colors of foods to make sure you're getting those electrolytes in your food, okay? The second choice is with supplementation, okay? As you switch to a more whole food based diet, like we do here in the Faster Way, many of these minerals are just going to be naturally increased. But sometimes you can't get the adequate minerals through food alone, especially if you're not eating a variety of colored foods, like fruits and vegetables. If you're not eating the purples and the greens and the yellows and if you're eating whole foods that's like chicken, rice, and broccoli, you're not getting all the electrolytes, okay? But even if you are what I call eating the rainbow, it's probably not a bad idea to supplement with electrolytes to ensure proper hydration. And here's why. So you can lose electrolytes by a lot of different ways. Many of you know, like if you're sick, if you've got diarrhea or vomiting, you know, you need to supplement with electrolytes because you're losing a lot. You need to be taking more in. Again, that intake, outtake. But also things like alcohol and caffeine, they're dehydrating. Okay. So obviously excessive sweating. When you sweat at a workout, you're going to need to increase your water intake, but you're also going to need to increase your electrolyte intake. Excessive water intake can lead to dehydration. Again, it's about that balance. So if you're taking in all of this water, but no electrolytes, what you're doing is you're diluting what electrolytes you do have. So the balance there is off. You don't have enough electrolytes for the amount of water you're consuming. So you're actually dehydrating yourself by drinking too much water. Okay. But one of the biggest reasons you may need to be supplementing your electrolyte intake is because of stress. The average American this day and age is stressed. In fact, they're probably overly stressed. And when you think of stress, you probably typically think of just like general life stressors like work, family, kids, jobs, marriage, that kind of thing. But there are many other stressors that are playing into what's called the allostatic load, like your stress bucket. There are many other stressors pouring in that you may not realize. Illness, if you've gotten sick, okay, that's a stressor on their body because your body's trying to heal and recover. Again, healing if you're injured. If you've had a broken bone or a pulled ligament or something's going wrong. If you have an injury, your body's working to recover. Therefore, your body is in a stressed state. Just things like pregnancy and breastfeeding, that's a stressor on your body. Anything that takes you out of homeostasis is a stressor. So exercise is a stressor, a good stressor, but a stressor on your body. Same thing with fasting. It is a stressor. Albeit a good stressor, it still contributes to your stress bucket. Under eating, whether it's intentionally being in a slight caloric deficit for fat loss or unintentionally because you're stressed out by work, kids, marriage, stuff and things, you're under eating unintentionally. That is a stressor on the body. It's taking you out of that balance. Okay. Anything that takes you out of homeostasis balance is a stressor. Inflammation caused by processed foods. Again, that's like your body's trying to heal itself. Alcohol intake is a stressor on the body. It's a toxin. Your body is trying to get rid of that as quickly as possible. It's stressing your body out. Eating low carb is a stressor on the body. Again, you're out of that balance. You're not having enough carb intake for the amount of glycogen you're needing to use for fuel. So you're out of that balance. So low carb, when you're eating low carb, you may get like that keto flu is what people call it. You may not feel very good when you're eating low carb, especially like Wednesday morning. You probably feel kind of blah, and that's just because your body's stressed, okay? Not getting enough adequate sleep at night, okay? Not getting enough or not getting quality sleep is a stressor on your body. So what happens when your body is stressed is it dumps minerals, okay? Trying to help you, again, get back to that, back to that balance, getting you back to homeostasis. So to feel your best, you need to be replenishing these minerals that your adrenals are dumping because you are stressed, okay? So your endocrine glands that sit above your kidneys are called your adrenals, and they produce many hormones. You may have heard things like adrenal fatigue, okay? That is kind of, and it messes up all these hormones, and you have things like your hair's falling out, poor skin quality, exhaustion, poor digestion, all of those things. And it's because your adrenals, one of the big heavy hitter hormones it produces is cortisol, which is your stress hormone. So when you're overly stressed, your adrenals are working in overdrive to produce this cortisol, and they are dumping minerals, okay? So you need to probably add in electrolytes to help replenish what your adrenals are dumping, okay? So we're going to break down the 3 minerals for hydration, starting with sodium, okay? I know what you're thinking. I thought sodium was the enemy. It causes like heart disease and blood pressure issues. So if this is you, there's a really great post I want you to read by a registered dietitian who specializes in hydration. and minerals. Her name is Robin, but in a nutshell, sodium has been falsely demonized over the last 2 decades due to cherry picking data. Okay. They are cherry picking this data and research to support what they want it to say. Okay. Plus then like Time magazine and other media coverage got like wind of this, and it just like the media just blew it out of proportion. But the truth is, sodium is an essential nutrient, and there are consequences if it's underconsumed. 100+ years ago, salt consumption was 10 times higher than it is today. Okay, that's how they preserved meats. And I mean, that salt preservation, okay? They took in 10 times the amount of salt that we do today. But hypertension and heart disease was at its lowest then, and it's at its highest now. Okay. Ionized table salt that we use today, your table salt, is a poor choice for sodium, okay? It has been overly processed and bleached out, and it's lacking the mineral salt. It's like the flavor salt, not the actual mineral. So I'm going to drop the link to one of Robin's posts on sodium and like why it's been demonized and why it's not really the problem here in the comment section here if you want to check it out, even further. But proper sodium levels, when they're done with that balance, again, that fluid balance and regulation, it actually regulates your blood pressure. Proper sodium also helps with stomach acid, fluid balance, insulin levels. It helps support your blood sugar regulation in the body. Not to mention it. The best part of sodium is it makes your food taste better, but you need to be eating real sodium, the mineral sodium, not just iodized table salt. Okay. Second one we're going to talk about is potassium. Potassium helps your water enter the cell. Again, electrolytes have the electrical charge. So the potassium is what's going to change that electrical charge to let the water actually enter the cell to be used. It supports how your body is going to use carbs for energy. It helps to regulate your blood pressure and your heart rate when done correctly. And it helps manage the pH balance of your body. Magnesium, the third one we're going to talk about, it helps with insulin sensitivity. It helps your cells make energy, which is ATP. You may have heard that term. So magnesium is essential in ATP production. It helps in thyroid function, again, hormone balances. Magnesium helps liver detoxification. It supports digestion through bowel movements. Some of you may be taking a magnesium supplement to help with regulation, being regular. It also helps to clear the mind. You may be taking magnesium supplements to fall asleep at night. Calm is an example of this, okay? So if you're taking like magnesium glycinate, that is like that calm, and that's what's going to like regulate your nervous system, kind of clears the mind and helps you fall asleep at night. Magnesium citrate, it helps you stay regular. And the way it does that is it draws water into your bowels to help you create stool for a bowel movement. Okay. It's not actually restoring magnesium levels in your adrenals, like the optimal levels, but it is helping with the fluid balance in your bowels so that you can create stool for a bowel movement. So before you're like, oh my gosh, this is one more thing for me to think about, one more thing to do. This is more of an upper level strategy, like proper hydration. Like if you're just drinking enough water, that is on. But if you are ready to kind of level up, that's when we may be talking about this. Okay, so if you're drinking your body weight in ounces of water and you're eating the rainbow, fluid balance is probably not going to be an issue for you. But again, if you're kind of wanting to level up, then that's kind of why we're talking about this. Okay, this is not adding in minerals and electrolytes and all is not required to live a healthy lifestyle. But if you've got the basics and the fundamentals and you want to start moving, continuing the journey, then you can continue on and add electrolytes. Okay, so if you are ready to add the minerals, if you're ready to add electrolytes or things like that, we're going to kind of talk through how you can add minerals with mineral mocktails or adrenal cocktails, or just simply adding electrolytes into your routine. And I'm going to do the best I can to kind of simplify it. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of supplements or these little packets to pour in your water to stay hydrated. You can actually make what's called a mineral mocktail very simply at home. You just need vitamin C, which is your magnesium, sodium, again, real sodium, the mineral sodium, not iodized table salt, and potassium. Okay, so an easy mineral mocktail at home is going to be fresh squeezed orange juice, not like Tropicana that's got sugar added to it. Okay, take an orange. The best way to do it is take an orange, half it, and squeeze half of an orange in there. Okay, you want 2 to 4 ounces of orange juice, fresh squeezed with no sugar added. You can also get this with lemons and limes. Bonus with lemons is they also have potassium in them, but you can also get potassium with coconut water. You've probably heard that coconut water is super hydrating, and it is because it has potassium in it. And then a sprinkle of real sodium on the top. Okay, so you'll want to do fresh squeezed orange juice, coconut water, and a sprinkle of sodium in a big tall glass, and there's a mineral mocktail. Now, again, I'm not talking about Morton's iodized table salt here, okay? I'm not talking about the flavor of salt. I'm talking about the mineral of salt. Good options, what I personally buy are Redmond's real salt. If you look at the salt and it's got color variations in it, that's a good sign that it's actually a mineral and not the flavor, okay? Celtic sea salt is usually good. Pink Himalayan, you can get tricky in there with the pink Himalayan sea salt. Sometimes it's a good mineral. Sometimes it's been like processed. Just kind of look at it. If it's got color variation, it's probably a good mineral kind of salt, okay? So pour in options to add in to get electrolytes. My favorite is Relight. That's what I personally use. It comes in like a tub. You can get it on Amazon. This is what I start my day with is Relight. Another favorite of mine is it's called Element, but it's spelled with the letters LMNT. It has more sodium. So on days I know I'm going to be sweating a lot, I may take Element over Relight, but it is a little bit more salty. Jigsaw is another good brand. Their adrenal cocktail is good. Again, supporting those adrenals back here that's sitting above your kidneys. It doesn't taste very good though. It's a great supplement, but you'll want to like mix it with the orange juice and the coconut water to like get the flavor down, okay? And then another one is Highlight Drops. They're tasteless. It's just like water droplets that you can put in. But again, my personal, what I take daily is Relight, and it's actually made, you'll see it, it's Redmond's Relight. It's made by Redmond's Salt Company, Redmond's Real Salt, okay? This is not just like a comprehensive list. It's just personally what I use, what I have found that are good. Things I know I don't recommend are Liquid IV. Okay, if you flip Liquid IV over and look at the ingredient, it has 5 different sugars in it. Liquid IV is a sugar water. So there are lots of options out there, but as you're looking, flip it over, read the ingredient list. Okay, you want very, very mineral ingredients. You don't want a bunch of fillers or additives of flavors or artificial sweeteners or any of those things. Okay, you want just your potassium, magnesium, and sodium. Okay, that's what you want to look for as you're shopping for an electrolyte powder. So that is my recommendation on hydration. Why being hydrated simply isn't drinking enough water. It's actually retaining the water that you take in with that fluid balance. Bye, guys.